Everyone, welcome back to Economics by Arsha, and in today's video we're going to be talking about production possibility curves. So first off, what is a production possibility curve? Well, a production possibility curve shows the maximum amount of goods that can be produced in an economy in a given time period if the resources are being used fully and efficiently. Now, the production possibility curve, as I've drawn here, shows concepts of scarcity, opportunity cost, and choice, all of which I've discussed in my previous videos. So if you don't know what they are, I suggest you look at those videos first. So here is a production possibility curve, and there are different parts of a production possibility curve. So the first one is the Y. Now this Y represents good Y, because on each axis of the production possibility curve, a good is plotted. So it could be really anything, it could be brown bread and white bread. And so this good X would then be good X. And then we have point Z. Point Z represents the potential output. So this, as we go back to the definition, is what is the maximum amount of goods that can be produced if the resources are being used fully and efficiently. But most economies are often somewhere under the curve. And if, for example, our economy is at point V, and there is a technological advancement in the production sector, then it would move to point W, and this is known as economic growth. But if there was some sort of war or natural disaster that further degraded the economy's technology or resources, then it would go down to point U. Now, point Z1 is actually unattainable because it's not on the curve, it's actually past the curve. So in order for an economy to achieve this, they're going to have some sort of technological advancement or increase in resources in order to be able to produce the new potential output. So now that we understand the different parts of a production possibility curve, let's try an example. So here I have made a table with 6 scenarios, and in our scenario, our good Y is going to be chickens and our good X is going to be cows. So let me just write it here. This is going to be good Y and this is going to be good X. Let me just write underneath. Good Y and good X. Okay. So we're going to have to plot each one of these scenarios on the curve. So in scenario A, we have 5 cows, but 0 chickens. So 5 cows and 0 chickens. So the farmer would rather keep 5 cows and 0 chickens and is allocating all his resources to his cows. So that would be here, 5 cows and 0 chickens. And in scenario B, we have the farmer having 4 cows and perhaps decides to sell one of his cows and buys 75 chickens. So now we have 4 cows, but 75 chickens. So that would be here. Alright. And then in scenario C, we have 3 cows. So this time the farmer sells another cow and gets another 50 cows. So we have 125. Another 50 chickens. So we have 125 chickens. So 3 and 125. That is here. And then the farmer sells another cow, and we now have 165 chickens. So that's 2 cows and 165 chickens. would be somewhere here. And then the farmer sells another cow, and now we have 200 chickens and 1 cow. So 200 chickens and 1 cow. And finally, we have 0 cows and 225 chickens. So that would be here. I think I will make that 215 chickens, 220 chickens. So let us make this 215 chickens, maybe. And so the farmer sells his last cow, and now we have 0 cows and 215 chickens. So that'll be here. And now that we've plotted each point, let us label them. So this is point A, this is point B, C, D, E, and F. And if you connect all these points, you have a production possibility curve. Now this one is slightly linear, but here we have our production possibility curve. Now, if the farmer chooses to keep cows and chickens in a ratio that would be on the curve, he's being efficient as he's allocating his resources efficiently. But if the farmer decides to have 1 cow and 50 chickens, that is not at all efficient because that is a point inside the curve. But if the farmer decides to have 5 cows and 150 chickens, that is a point outside the curve and is unattainable, unless he employs more workers or has a bigger farm, broadens his budget. Then it is possible for him, and this would result in the curve moving outwards. If, for example, he goes into losses and has to let down employees, the curve would then move inwards, and a new production possibility curve would be established. So let us have a quick recap. A production possibility curve shows the maximum amount of goods that can be produced in an economy in a given time period, if the resources are being used fully and efficiently. A production possibility curve, like drawn below, illustrates concepts of scarcity, opportunity cost, and choice. And if we have a quick recap of the different points, we have point Y, which is good Y, point X, which is good X, and then point Z, which is the potential output, if the resources are being used fully and efficiently. We then have point U, which is where most economies would lie, and if there was a chance of economic growth, we would then progress to point W, which is closer to the curve. If there was some sort of war or natural disaster, then we would go down to point U. Point Z1 is an unattainable point as it is a point outside the curve. But if resources were to increase and the state of technology were to improve, we would then have point Z1 as the new production possibility curve and the new potential output. And then we would write our new variables for the goods as X1 and X and Y1. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and next time we're going to be talking about the different types of production possibility curve. Until next time.